Across the country, more than 50 cities of all sizes have adopted ambitious goals to generate 100% of their electricity from renewable resources. But how do these cities plan to get there? In our new multi-part series, Voices of 100%, from the Institute for Local Self-Reliance's Local Energy Rules podcast, we're speaking with local leaders with insights about their city's 100% renewable energy commitments, how their cities plan to achieve their goals, and what these visionaries see as the future of local renewable energy. In this episode, John Farrell, director of the Energy Democracy Initiative at the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, speaks with Larry Atencio, council member and mayoral candidate from Pueblo, Colorado, a small city on the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains, once well known for its steel production. With the vocal support of Councilmember Atencio, Pueblo recently made the plunge to commit to 100% renewable energy as the city continues to transform its local economy and energy system. This is Local Energy Rules, a podcast sharing powerful stories about local renewable energy.
Larry, welcome to the program.
Oh, well, thank you for the call.
So I am really excited to talk to you, first of all, about what it is that motivated Pueblo to make a commitment to 100% renewable energy.
I am a Pueblo City Councilman, and I represent District 2, which is made up of mostly low to moderate income individuals. And my thinking was they're having a hard time with their electricity bills, and their energy costs are sky high. We have the highest electricity costs in the state of Colorado, here in Pueblo, Colorado. And my thinking was, how do we relieve some of the pressure financially on low to moderate income people? And getting together with the Sierra Club and with other environmental groups, we talked about 100% renewable energy. And I thought, that is going to be a great way to reduce energy costs, not only for my constituents, but for the city as a whole. So that is the first thing that made me think about renewable energy to begin with. And then the 100% renewable for cities came up, and I thought that was perfect. So I proposed a resolution to City Council that Pueblo commit to 100% renewable.
And is there a date by which you're hoping to reach that goal that's in the resolution, or is it just open-ended?
It's not open-ended. We hope to make that commitment and become 100% renewable by the year 2035. Now, that's only an aspirational goal, but it's a goal nonetheless. And I think we can achieve it.
Could you tell me a little bit about how you worked with local residents or the organization Pueblo Energy Future to garner support in the community for making this goal?
I got myself a member of Pueblo's Energy Future, and through that organization, they are looking at three basic concepts, and one is renewable energy, sustainable energy. Another one is having utility costs at a moderate level, and then the other is climate change. So between those three things, our efforts in the Pueblo's Energy Future is to bring forward things that will attain those goals.
So how is I'm curious, this has been an interesting debate in different cities. In Georgetown, Texas, who I spoke with, they have a municipal utility, so it's owned by the city and they can kind of make their decisions. You have an incumbent utility there, Black Hills Energy. It's an independent company. It's not run by the city. How have they reacted to the city's goal? Have they offered up any ideas about how they might help the city reach that goal?
They, for the most part, are somewhat receptive to the idea. I'm working with Black Hills Energy and the company to build a few low-cost solar gardens that will benefit low-income customers. And we also work with Black Hills in terms of deposits when somebody gets their electricity turns off, and their reconnect fees, and then other items that would benefit low-income customers.
And there's been a little bit of history there that was alluded to in an article in Grist about, I guess they're relatively new in terms of their ownership of the utility, that you had a problem with a utility. Was it going bankrupt or was no longer able to serve the community?
No, the prior utility that was here, they just decided they were going to go out of business, I guess. I don't know exactly why they did, but Black Hills stepped in, bought the infrastructure and everything that went with it. They built a new power plant right outside the city of Pueblo. So we'll have sustainable energy for the city for years and years and years to come. But they took over, and they've been our electric provider for the last almost 10 years.
But in that time frame, I think you alluded to earlier that the electricity costs are the highest in the state. And is that a more recent phenomenon, or was that true even before Black Hills took over?
No, it came about when Black Hills took over. They built this new power plant, a gas-fired power plant outside of the city of Pueblo, because they are the only electric provider for the city of Pueblo. So they literally had to build their own power plant to serve the city. Now, the Public Utility Commission, of course, gave them permission to recoup all of their costs, and that is what led to the high electricity bills for everyone.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in other places in Colorado. So Boulder, Colorado, university town, relatively progressive, has famously been in a 7-year fight to take over its utility. They did, among other things, a feasibility study that suggested that by taking over the utility company, by making it a municipal utility, they could make the city's electricity system more renewable and more affordable. I'm curious if you've had a lot of conversation yet about what strategies Pueblo could consider. You mentioned working with Black Hills around some low-cost solar gardens, which I think sounds really interesting, and I'm definitely going to look to see how those develop. Are there other strategies that have been discussed in terms of projects that Black Hills would build specifically for Pueblo or anything else?
Yeah, the city of Pueblo, we put together a electric utility commission to see whether it would be feasible for the city of Pueblo to municipalize. I'm co-chair of that committee, and we are looking into each and every possible combination or option that we could use to bring those electricity costs down for our residents and for industry too, by the way.
And is that process then ongoing? Or maybe you could just talk a little bit more about some of the questions that you're looking at. So municipalization is one of the options on the table. Have any other interesting ideas come up so far that you're hoping to flesh out more?
You might have some information on a gentleman by the name of Paul Fenn.
Yes.
He is kind of the guru of community choice aggregation. We don't know a whole lot about what that entails, but we're looking at that. We're going to ask Mr. Fenn to come and give a presentation to our Electric Utility Commission and look into what that might entail. I was told literally by the people in Boulder that if Colorado had community choice aggregation, that their possibility of going municipal just might be different than what they're doing now. So I think that would be a real big thing to look at. And aside from that, rooftop solar has got to be considered, and of course, storage is a big thing with that's coming down the pike in the next few years. It's going to be possible that literally an individual homeowner just might be able to get off the grid completely. So the whole electric industry is going to change. Its paradigm is going to change completely over time.
Are any of the strategies that you talked about or looking at in terms of, for example, rooftop solar, things where the city is looking at strategies to help people go solar? For example, I think I don't know if it was Boulder, but some other cities have done some interesting work around like group purchasing. Sometimes they're called solarized campaigns, where you get a bunch of people to go solar at the same time. Has the city done anything like that yet, or is that in the works?
No, not yet. What I hope to do, like you said, I'm going to hopefully get to be mayor of the city of Pueblo. But if I do, what I'll do is one of the first things is commission a committee to look into our electrical needs and our energy needs and have a whole energy plan for the city of Pueblo. And that would entail all of the aspects of energy, transportation, efficiencies, solar, everything. We would look at absolutely everything and then come up with a plan for the city of Pueblo on how we're going to meet our energy needs for the next 50 years, say.
You're listening to an interview with Larry Atencio from Pueblo, Colorado, as part of our Voices of 100% series from Local Energy Rules. Do you know of any folks we should interview about 100% renewable energy commitments in their community? If so, send us an email at voicesof100@ilsr.org. That's voices of 100@ilsr.org. Stay tuned for the rest of this episode after a short message from our Energy Democracy Initiative Director, John Farrell.
Hey, thanks for listening to Local Energy Rules. If you've made it this far, you're obviously a fan, and we could use your help for just 2 minutes. As you've probably noticed, we don't have any corporate sponsors or ads for any of our podcasts. The reason is that our mission at ILSR is to reinvigorate democracy by decentralizing economic power. Instead, we rely on you, our listeners. Your donations not only underwrite this podcast, but also help us produce all of the research and resources that we make available on our website and all of the technical assistance we provide to grassroots organizations. Every year, ILSR's small staff helps hundreds of communities challenge monopoly power directly and rebuild their local economies. So please take a minute and go to ilsr.org and click on the donate button. And if making a donation isn't something you can do, please consider helping us in other ways. You can help other folks find this podcast by telling them about it or by giving it a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. The more ratings from listeners like you, the more folks can find this podcast and ILSR's other podcasts, Community Broadband Bits, and Building Local Power. Thanks again for listening. Now, back to the program. One of the things that I think was really highlighted in the Grist piece in which you were interviewed was this issue that you've already mentioned in terms of your constituents being low and moderate income individuals or facing really expensive electricity bills. What do you see as the opportunity with renewable energy helping to address that cost issue? How does 100% renewable energy going to help?
Well, by going 100% renewable, for instance, let me give you an idea. The city of Pueblo and all of its facilities, we will probably go 100% renewable for city facilities within the next 5 years. Reducing the cost of energy for the city of Pueblo will give us money from the energy costs that we're spending now. If we go renewable, our energy costs will be much less. We'll be able to use that money in low-income neighborhoods, or we'll be able to provide programs by which we can raise the income level or education, for instance, or job training, or whatever it might be. We might be able to have some money left over from our energy costs if we go 100% renewable to be able to put into the neighborhoods.
Excellent. One of the things I thought was really interesting is in the energy wonk world, we kind of follow the costs of renewables across the country and have found exactly what you mentioned, that we're seeing incredibly low prices for renewables. I know Xcel Energy, which is also serves a lot of Colorado, big utility out there, recently received some very low-cost bids for renewable energy, both from solar and from wind power, combined with energy storage. Has that I guess I shouldn't assume that information is spreading like wildfire among ordinary folks, but it certainly has had a big impact in my world where we look at energy prices and talk about costs of renewables a lot. Has that conversation trickled down to the conversation in Pueblo about how it can be so inexpensive?
Yeah, it really has. Xcel Energy, they have Comanche 1, 2, and 3 power plant here in Pueblo. It's the largest power plant in the state of Colorado and probably one of the largest in western United States. But all of that energy in Pueblo goes 100 miles north to the metropolitan Denver. So Pueblo gets none of that. Excel's plan, hopefully if the PUC accepts it, and hopefully in September they'll accept it, Excel will shut down numbers 1 and 2 power plant, thereby reducing their CO2 emissions by over 60%, which will really help the city of Pueblo in terms of our health. And then they are going to replace that with solar gardens, and then some solar gardens here in Pueblo, but also wind energy across the state and up north and then out on the eastern plains. So with them going to renewables, their whole portfolio, I believe somebody said, will be renewable by 60%. They'll be generating from renewable sources in the future, which is really big.
Is that comparable to what Black Hills Energy is doing? I mean, are they similarly shifting to renewables? Are they, in the near future, or is that Excel very different from the utility that's serving Pueblo?
Frankly, I think the mindset of it at Excel, because they're shutting these power plants down probably 10 years ahead of schedule, going to renewable. So it takes a mindset to go towards renewables rather than stay with the old paradigm of gas and coal-fired power plants. I might understand Black Hills staying with their gas-fired power plant because it's only 7 or 8 years old. So it's brand new. Its lifespan is probably 25, 30, 40 years old, 40 years. So their reluctance to go 100% renewable might be understandable. But by the same token, the flood is coming and renewable energy is here, and it's going to get bigger and better all the time. And I don't think any power company is going to be out there is going to be able to fight the tide.
Larry, I'm curious, what advice would you give to either elected officials or to folks who are concerned about affordable energy in other communities across the country in terms of what they can do? What would you recommend? If they're looking, should they follow your lead and be talking about 100% commitment? Is there some other next step? What's the best way to get started in this conversation if you want to talk about affordable clean energy?
Yeah, I think what most elected officials should probably know is that the electric delivering of electric power, the paradigm and the industry is changing completely. And in the next, whether it's 50 years or 100 years, fossil fuels are a finite energy source. Renewable energy is non-exhaustible. We're going to have sun for millions of years. We're going to have wind for millions of years. That is the future. And for those who don't think so, you're going to get left behind. That's all there is to it. So thinking 25, 50 years ahead is not a bad thing.
Well, Larry, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, and I wish you the best of luck in your forthcoming campaign.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Larry. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
This has been our second episode of the Voices of 100% series with John Farrell, Director of the Institute for Local Self-Reliance's Energy Democracy Initiative, and Councilmember Larry Atencio from Pueblo, Colorado, speaking about what motivated Pueblo to commit to 100% renewable energy and how the city plans to get there. Tune back into the program in 3 weeks for our next episode in this series, where we'll be featuring the city of San Diego, California, and hearing the latest updates on their commitment to go all in on renewable energy. For more information on cities that have committed to 100% renewable energy, check out the other episodes in this series, and explore ILSR's interactive community power map, which is available at ilsr.org. While you're on our website, you can also find more than 50 past episodes of the Local Energy Rules podcast. You can sign up for one of our newsletters and connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep your energy local, and thanks for listening.